My husband, Ninglanel, went for a walk yesterday morning. Said he wanted to get away from the squabbling at Eldenroot. He hasn't come back. I went looking for him this morning with our dog. And now... Yes, thank you for pointing that out. The last place I saw our dog eat was near the fork in the road that leads to Cormount, just west of here. Take this whistle. Use it when you get to the fork in the road. I'll wait here in case he comes home.
Ironic. Huh. We come back to my homeland and I'm the one that falls into a ravine. I used to scale these rocks like they were stairs. I guess none of us are immune to the ravages of time. Just give me a second and I'll head back home. I knew Eat wouldn't leave me here to rot. Ms. Zahabi will be worried sick. Thank you.
What do you want? I don't make many sales here. Come, take advantage of my misfortune. I need...
Excuse me. Did you know my husband? What brings you to my husband's grave? I don't think we ever met. My husband was a guard for a merchant caravan. One day, he found a magic amulet on a dead man laying in the road. Almost overnight, he became despondent, and when he spoke, he would only talk about the bandits he had killed while defending the caravan. No, nothing worked. I even paid to have the origin of the amulet divined, and learned it was crafted in Cormount. Surprisingly, my husband volunteered to go, but he was found dead not far from town the next day, and the amulet was gone. If you have the amulet, I suggest you find a way to be rid of it as soon as possible, before you lose the will to even try.
First of the earth bones, who sang the songs the seeds and birds now carry in their hearts. Ifri the singer is the most important god we worship. We know many people, especially other elves, place Auriel higher, for Auriel's province is that of time, in itself uninterruptible and majestic. But Ifri...
Our family is back together. I can never thank you enough.
I knew Eat wouldn't leave me. We spent a lot of time in my wife's homeland of Reaper's March, so the unusual fauna here must have spooked him a bit.
I could just spit. Hold. We've observed your travels through Grotwood and have need of your particular talents.
One of my favourite things about Grotwood is the way the stars look through the tree canopy. It really is quite lovely. But I'm letting myself grow distracted. How may I help you? There's really only Rondrin, but he's been retired for a while now.
Greetings.
If you are looking for custom jewelry, you should know I'm retired. My amulet! Tell me! Did it do its work? Did the Argonne, the brigand who killed my son? It took all my resources to make that amulet and track him down. You see, I'm not a strong or violent man, but I do know my craft. That amulet is my masterpiece. It magnifies the guilt of taking a life, slowly overwhelming the wearer with grief until he takes his own life. It's a little bit of poetry, if I do say so myself. Although it's been so long, I was beginning to doubt it worked. What? That can't be! You're lying! The Argonian sent you, didn't he? He's not dead at all, is he? This isn't right. This person obviously did not deserve to die. What have I done? Give me the amulet. I made it impossible to give away, but I created it, so you should be able to give it to me. I thank you for bringing me closure on my son's killer. I know what I have to do now. It's my turn to wear the amulet now. If anyone is guilty, if anyone deserves it, it's me. I created this abominable object. It's only fitting that I am destroyed by it. It's justice. Oh, gods! How was I so blind? My revenge only brought more pain into the world. I guess death is a poor substitute for justice, after all. You're right. I must end this diseased cycle. I must destroy the amulet. Never again! It is done. No one shall ever suffer at the hands of this accursed creation again. No one else should suffer my folly. Thank you, and please take this for your troubles.
Hey, you! Please wait! Oh, thank Ifre. I wasn't sure I would find anyone out here. My village needs help. The forest has turned against us. I don't know how else to describe it. Spriggans and Sench just started tearing through our village in numbers. We've had to take refuge in the sacred cave where we hold our religious ceremonies. Trethane Roland sent me to look for outside help. I don't know what he intends. He said something about a horrible crime. I think he thinks the forest is trying to exact justice for something. He's in the sacred cave with the others.
Did one of our scouts find you and send you this way? It doesn't matter. We're desperately in need of assistance. If you are willing to help us, please step inside the cave behind me and speak with our tree thane.
How could you let that alchemist from Fair live? He was a monster.
I wonder if we can trust each other again after this.
I can't tell you how glad I am you're here. Something is horribly amiss, and we can't leave this cave without fearing for our lives until it's put right. We are followers of the Green Pact, pledged to protect the forest from all harm. In exchange, the forest shapes itself to our needs. But now the forest has turned against us, stirring the Sench to attack us and driving... Only a gross violation of the Green Pact could cause the forest to attack us in this way. My suspicions were confirmed when we entered this cave. We found the sacred blossom, Sanguine Alendo, cut from its stem. The requirements for correcting a violation of the Green Pact are well established. 3 kinds of proof are required for judgment: witness testimony, physical evidence, and a magical omen. Without all 3, I've been able to narrow the suspects by talking to the villagers, but to gather more evidence, we'd need to leave this cave. For as long as justice is denied under the Green Pact, the forest will destroy any of us who set foot outside this cave. You have my gratitude. There are 3 suspects whose behavior has been called into question. Aranak, the Khajiit merchant, Spinner Aranas, and his wife Gathiel. I suggest talking to my people to find possible witness testimony before venturing into the town.
I think they all did it. All of them, collaborating with one another, broke the Green Pact intentionally. The real question is why? Obviously, they wanted the forest to attack us, to distract us from their real purpose. Think about it. So Tree Thane Rallen has you looking into the destruction of the sacred flower. I hope you understand this isn't just about a plant. The Green Pact defines us. Our whole way of life is based on it. I hope you take the investigation seriously. I'm happy to answer any questions you have, but I can tell you already that it was our spinner. He's an alchemist. He makes unnatural concoctions with plants. He claims to never use anything forbidden, but everyone knows that alchemists need lots of herbs to do their work. I am willing to testify against him for bringing this down on us. That merchant is harmless. He only gets what people ask him to acquire, and I've never seen him harm a leaf. If it weren't for him, we'd be cut off from the rest of the world entirely. I won't stand any bad-mouthing of Gathiel. Sure, she's married to that alchemist, but she's nothing like him, rooting around in the dirt for dead leaves. The way she carries herself, her beauty, her refinement, she would never stoop so low.
Are you going to the village to find evidence? Be careful. Who knows what manner of beasts have taken up shelter in our homes? I'll try to have the trial chamber ready by the time you get back.
Have you spoken to Nithalin? I was inside that night, but I know she was out walking. Naildil too. I'm sorry. I don't really know anything, I guess. But the Khajiit fellow was always very nice. I don't believe it was him.
So Tree Thane Rowland wants you to investigate the violation of the Green Pact. I don't see what there is to investigate. The culprit is plain enough, but I'm happy to help.
Ask what you want, but I think it's obvious who did it. That Khajiit has always held our traditions in contempt.
The night the Green Pact was broken, there was a terrible storm. I was sitting by the window, watching the lightning. That's when I saw that filthy cat sneak off into the woods towards the cave. I will happily testify against him. Spinner Arenas is our guiding light. He helped heal my cousin when she got sick, and has always been a staunch defender of the Green Pact. It's offensive he's even under suspicion. Athiel has her moments of ego, but she's a loyal member of this community. We were all praying for her during her recent illness, and were thrilled at her recovery. I don't think she's capable of this crime.
Have you spoken to Nithalin? I was inside that night, but I know she was out walking.
I don't want to believe that Khajiit is guilty, but I'm not blind. I can read the signs. Lightning struck in the village the night the Green Pact was broken. The Khajiit is involved in some way.
Ah, it's you.
You need a citizen to stand in testimony against the accused, as well as
Please, it wasn't me. How could it be me? I am a Khajiit. Only wood elves can break the Green Pact.
If you ask me, I don't really think any of them is entirely responsible. Magic's like that sometimes. It just turns sour on you. I saw some lightning in the village proper, and that's all I can really say.
It's truly terrible what has come upon the village, but I promise I'm not the one responsible. It's my duty as Spinner to teach the children about the Green Pact. I would never violate it. It's truly terrible what has come upon the village.
I would never violate the Green Pact. I've lived by it all my life. It is unthinkable.
Hello.
I heard you've been made Pact Advocate. Is this true? I want to help in any way I can. The Green Pact is sacred, and the person who broke it must be brought to justice. Anything to fix this. Aronak's been in our town for years. Why would he suddenly decide to do this? Besides, the Pact is a special bond between the Wood Elves and the Forest. I don't think the Forest would react this way if Aronak were guilty. Aranis is a good man. He's the village spinner, so it's his job to pass on the stories of the Wood Elves and the Green. I learned about the Green Pact from his stories when I was a child. He would never endanger the village, or break the Pact. A real piece of work. Always scheming, that one is. Spinner's wife or not, I'm sure she's guilty. She's been sick for weeks and just happens to get better the night the Pact was broken? I testify against her in a heartbeat.
If you were looking for evidence, I'd suggest looking around in town. When the forest turned against us, there was no time for anyone to collect their belongings, or cover their tracks. Everyone is assembled back in the meeting chamber to hear your findings, Advocate.
Hail.
Greetings.
Hello. Hello there.
You are a Pact advocate, and I trust your judgment. I only ask that you weigh the evidence carefully. Whatever you decide, our village will never be the same.
You're investigating things. Good. Leave no stone unturned. And remember, the construction of Woodhearth in Greenshade, the founding of the Daggerfall Covenant, and the invention of the steel-toed shoe are all part of their plan.
So, let's see whatever it is you found. As long as we get it over with, right?
Please, tell me you found something conclusive. Something that will sort this out so we can get back to our lives. The village can never return to normal unless justice is served, you understand?
What can you tell us? It wasn't the spinner, right? I mean, it couldn't have been, could it? Also, you tell me if the meat was all gone, or if the creatures had left their filth everywhere, right? Since we're friends and all.
Hello there.
I would never violate the Green Pact. I've lived by it all my life. It is unthinkable. I was sick, yes. But my husband and I prayed to Ifre, and she saw fit to heal me. I suppose to a jealous eye it could look suspicious, but it's not evidence of guilt. On the contrary, some might say Ifre has rewarded our faithfulness. I would never violate the Green Pact. I've lived by it all my life. It is unthinkable. Why, yes, that is my sign, and the sign of several others in this village. Surely it was shining because I was being blessed with good health after a period of such long sickness. I am still I would never violate the Green Pact. I've lived by it all my life. How dare you? You read my most private thoughts and then hold them against me as evidence? Last I heard, thinking was not a crime. So callous. How would you feel if you were dying? Wouldn't you seek a cure? Of course I looked for something that would help, but in the end it took faithful prayer and nothing else. I would never violate the Green Pact.
It's truly terrible what has come upon the village, but I promise I'm not the one responsible. It's my duty as Spinner to teach the children about the Green Pact. I would never violate it. Alchemy is not a common practice among Wood Elves, so it's understandable that there's some confusion. The only plant material I've ever used were leaves and flowers that naturally fell to the ground, as per our laws. It's truly terrible what has come upon the village, my sigil. It's unfortunate, but there was a fierce storm the other night. What's a tangle of dead branches against a gale like that? That's assuming the storm did it. Someone could have easily destroyed my sigil to make me look guilty. It's truly terrible what has come upon the village, but I promise I know what it looks like, but I didn't cut that plant. I found it in the forest by the dead tree. It was already cut. I thought it was a gift from Ifrit to cure my wife of a wasting sickness. Please, you must believe me. It's truly terrible.
Please, it wasn't me. How could it be me? I am a Khajiit. Only wood elves can break the Green Pact. Yes, there was a storm the other night, and storms bring lightning. What does that prove? I should have chosen a better place to keep my cart, that is all. Please, it wasn't me. How could it be me? I am a Khajiit, and if I did cut the flower, that does not solve the Wood Elves' problem. The Green Pact is their custom. I got an anonymous order for a flower, and I filled it. I did not know the flower was sacred. The one who placed the order is guilty. No, please, it wasn't me. How could it be me? I am a Khajiit. I was out in the storm, trying to clear away fallen branches and protect my cart. For all the good it did. Please, it wasn't me. How could...
Please take whatever you found to Trethane Roland, Advocate. Everyone wants to be done with this terrible business as soon as possible.
I'm eager to hear your findings, Advocate.
Please present your findings to the Trethane, Advocate.
We stand ready to hear your findings, Advocate. I encourage you to ask the suspects about any evidence you found before making an accusation. Remember, once you have made an accusation, you must present the supporting evidence as requested. If you are truly ready, please name the accused. You have formally accused Gathiel, the wife of our spinner, of breaking the Green Pact. Who do you have to stand in testimony against the accused? Citizen, please step forth as accuser. Advocate, what physical evidence do you have to present to us? We accept this order invoice into evidence. Please place it on the table. Please present the final piece of evidence, an omen from the heavens portending the guilt of the accused. We accept this astrology chart into evidence. Please place it on the table. Please allow me a moment to review the evidence you have presented, Advocate. After a careful review of the evidence provided to this court, we find the evidence presented inadequate to prove the guilt of Gathiel, the Advocate, please return once you have reviewed your findings and are ready. We stand ready. Remember, if you are truly ready, you have formally accused Citizen. Please, we accept this. Please present the final piece of evidence, an omen from the heavens portending the guilt of the accused. We accept this astrology chart into evidence. Please allow me. After a careful review of the evidence provided to this court, I find the spinner's wife, Gathiel, guilty as charged.
I'm sorry. I'm so
Advocate,
sorry.
we have asked much of you in this terrible affair, but I must rely upon you for one final sacred task. Please escort the prisoner to the judgment chamber below. Advocate, please.
This isn't real. This is all a bad dream. This can't be happening. This can't be happening.
You got one of them, but what about the rest? You have to keep digging. Find the full...
Don't you understand? I was dying. That plant was my salvation. You would have done the same. I didn't have a choice. It was just one plant. I would have died otherwise.
Blood for blood. It is done.
It is done.
It is done.
You have done what we could not. You have restored us to the Green Pact. All is right, even if all is not yet well. Thank you. Gathiel was the gem of our village. It's still hard to believe, but who could blame her for wanting a cure to her illness? The Green Pact is a harsh burden sometimes. Still, we are grateful to you. You're welcome here anytime.
We will never forget how you helped bring peace back to our village.
I've got to get back in there. Stay back. There's only death ahead. Shades boiled out of the ground and fell upon us. So much death. Mages Guild. They were excavating this ruin for artifacts, but they woke something up. Some of the acolytes are still trapped inside. If I don't do something, those acolytes are done for. But I've lost a lot of blood.
You arrived in the nick of time.
I can make it back to camp from here.
Follow me quickly, before any more of them return. Research. All I want to do is research. Why do I always end up in life or death situations? Either in Darwin's cursed or I am. Shades boiling up from the ground? What next? Trolls in heat? We were excavating for artifacts when Dominion soldiers showed up, demanding we turn over anything we'd found. And Darwin showed them what we had, but Lieutenant Urian insisted we work faster. I have no idea. The Mages Guild has procedures for a reason. Not that the soldiers listened. We found an ancient scepter made from bone, but before we could properly contain the artifact, one of those idiots grabbed it. That's right. And if it weren't for you, I'd have joined them. I'm heading back to our base camp. You should speak with Darwin if you think you can help sort out this mess. You can't be any worse than Lieutenant Orion.
Our orders were to protect the Mages Guild in their excavation, so you will have to see to your own defense. We're spread too thin to do anything but guard this camp. General Andare, commander of the Jade Dragoons. She sent us here personally from our garrison in Haven. What? That's preposterous. When did this happen? We received no word of a decampment. Our orders were to come here, mine the Mages Guild dig, and await further orders. But if it's true, there must have been a good reason to leave the city. General Andare does nothing without a good reason. She told us recovering relics was of great import to the Dominion. I didn't ask questions, but I think it has something to do with Elden Root. Something's going on.
What do you want?
What are you doing? That's not your property. That bone scepter is the only thing of note we found. There's no end of trouble since we pulled it from the ruin. It's not dangerous, not directly. What I mean to say is that holding it won't rot your hand off. It summons all the shades, I suspect. It certainly doesn't control them. Not that I've found anyway. Although, the markings carved into the scepter are all Aliad, for Pale Sentinel. Could that mean the creature at the heart of the ruin? It's the only shade we've heard speak, though it mostly just wails. It is rather pale, come to think of it, and the scepter works obsidian into bone, which is an old form of necromantic control. Say, would you care to help prove a theory? If that shade is in fact the Pale Sentinel, that bone scepter may have some control over it. And if it's directing the rest of the shades, perhaps you could force it to stop. Besides, we can't allow Telekar's ancient traps to remain active. Not this close to Elden Root. If the bone scepter can control the Pale Sentinel, perhaps the shades will settle down. Then we can get back to excavating the ossuary of Telekar. He was a necromancer, one of Mannimarco's most talented apprentices, but he and his wife Vestari eventually left Mannimarco's tutelage. It isn't entirely clear. There are many theories, but they all boil down to a difference of opinion. Seems to be the way of things with necromancers.
The Mages Guild has no record of shades haunting this location. Where do they come from, and what do they want? I'm telling you, if I still had hair, it'd be completely white.
I'm so grateful.
Leave this place. I won't let you wake him. Bone scepter. No, please, don't wake him. Stop. Don't make me go back. I was so close to escaping him forever. Telekar. A bad man who sleeps inside these ruins. When he wakes, I'll be trapped here forever. I'll do everything I can to get away. I did not! Telekar's servants hurt those people. They don't like you if you aren't from here. When he wakes, he'll control them completely. Just like me. The Bone Scepter holds power over Telekar's monsters. Over me. I can't lie to you. Besides, lying is wrong. One of Telekar's victims. But I don't have to be. If you can free me before he wakes, I'll leave. Then he'll go back to sleep forever. Hooray! Follow me inside the ruin. We don't want the Shades to hear us. They're his spies, you know. Shh! Be quiet in here. Telekar's servants don't like things with blood inside them. And they really don't like noise. There's a big sparkly door inside the Constellation Room. It's this big lock Vistari made, to keep him asleep inside. She doesn't come around anymore. Telekar's wife. They fought and fought, because he was a bad man, and she was a good woman. But she thought she could change him. When she realized he'd always been bad, she locked him in here. But the lock grew weak, and now Vistari left 3 of the things we need in special rooms around the ruins. The 4th is stuck inside some of Telekar's servants. If you smash them open, I won't tell. But about all the pieces, I don't know how to make them work together. I'm sorry. That's easy. The morning room, the smelly room, and the forbidden room. But don't worry, I can keep you safe. We should just go there. I'll point out what we need. I can distract Telekar's servants. Point the Bone Scepter at one of them and I'll blind it. Then you can smack it until it falls down. Don't worry, it's not like you're hurting it. They get back up again, eventually. Oh, all right. The most important thing is the book Vistari wrote in when she locked the door. We need to find that so we know what to do in the Constellation Room. There's an old skull Telekar stole from Menamarco. Then there's a glowy vial. I don't know what's inside, but if you listen real close, you can hear whispers. Oh, and the Milky Rocks. You'll find those inside some of Telekar's servants. Behold, the Forbidden Room. I come here to think sometimes. It's where Vistari left the book she wrote in when she put Telekar to sleep. Once we find all the pieces we need, we can go... Used to live in the cages, but Vistari brought that old skull back here. I'm sure of it. It's the smelly room. That glowy vial lit the hallways when Vistari carried it back from the constellation room. That's the last of them. We have all the pieces. We should go to the Constellation Room and put Telekar back to sleep. You have everything Vistari had when she made Telekar go to sleep. I don't remember how she did it. I'm sorry. But I know she used the altars in the Constellation Room. everything Vistari had when she made Telekar go to sleep. I don't remember how she did it. Something's happening. I think it's working.
Who are you? How dare you intrude within my... What? It's
No!
you!
Let me go!
You there! Explain yourself! What are you doing in my home? Who are you? Why have you invaded my home? The Shades defend my home from thieves. Neither I nor my servants bear any interest in the living. My work concerns one who died long ago. And now, I would know why this creature travels with you. Simple-minded thing. Those wards haven't contained me for decades. I remain within by choice. Now, I'm at a critical juncture in my research, and I need this creature to complete it. If you interfere, I'll drive you from my home. Now, be gone.
No, please! I don't want to stay here!
You dare interrupt me? Kalian, my son, see to this intruder.
It hurts.
Again, you trouble me at a critical juncture. What must I do to hasten your departure? Attempting to restore my son, despite your interruptions. That creature is a piece of him, an imperfect piece. If I reunite flesh and spirit, I can... He's my son. I'd do anything to restore him to a fraction of himself. With refinement, I can make him whole again. Vistari thought this hubris. If she hadn't left this world, I'd try to make her understand that we could one day be a family again. I needed time to refine my methods, and time I have had. And now, I have his spirit. I don't wish to harm this creature. But without the Bone Scepter to control it, I must resort to cruder methods. You what? That scepter is crafted from my own bones. It can bind the creature to his immortal husk. Once Kalian's wounds knit, I'll summon him here. You must bind the creature to his husk. Set things to how they should be. No. You feared I would raise an undead army to march through Grotwood? My wife and I spurned Mannimarco for a reason. But in return for binding this creature to my son's husk, I pledge we will remain within our home forever. He was young when he had his accident. Too young. The creature you've met can't fully comprehend the world around it. Unless properly supervised, it could harm itself or others without knowing what it did. No, to set it free would be a cruelty. Kalian is my son. I needed all his remains to craft the husk, so I had to use my own for the scepter. To command a spirit, use a focus made of its bones or those of its close relatives. Basic necromantic principle. I broke through Vestari's ward just under a century ago. I have remained here ever since, attempting to restore what remained of my family. I will never leave, as long as Kalian remains at my side. This is my home.
No, please. You can't make me be a monster again. I don't want to be here anymore. It hurt when I was a monster. It hurt worse than these chains. I want my father to sleep so I can go away. I don't know. I wish you could use the bone scepter on him. Point it at his body. There on the throne. And tell him to go to sleep. Then I could finally leave. Far away from here. Somewhere safe and warm. Somewhere where I'd have friends. You did it! You did it! I'm free! I'm finally free! Thank you, I don't know. But whatever it is, I'll be far away from here. Telekar can't hurt me anymore. Here, I can open a portal so you can be with your friends. Tell them I'm sorry about the Shades. As long as they stay away, they should be fine.
I don't know what you did, but the Shades are a bit sluggish. We'll hold off the dig until they return to the ground. If they return. I should send word back to the Mages Guild. They'll want to know everything.
This Telekar business is deplorable. So close to Eldenroot. No doubt the Mages Guild will take the blame for it all.
The Shades seem to have weakened, but that hasn't stopped them from probing this camp. Doesn't matter how long it takes. We'll keep the mages safe so they can get back to their dig. Orders are orders. General Indare, commander of the Jade Dragoons. She sent us here personally from our garrison in Haven.
You actually got the bow. Incredible. Did Storg give you much trouble? Vine Death Cave remains true to its name then. I'm sorry to hear it. Storg might have been a dunderheaded double-crosser, but he was still my friend. I figure I owe you what the Tree Thane paid me for the bow. Some thief I turned out to be, eh?
No need for all of Valenwood to know what you brought me.
I'm so glad you came along. I've chartered a ship.
You can rest assured we'll take good.
You, over here.
There's no retiring from this life.
You look like you could use
Hey.
a drink.
Hello.
I hope you've got deep, loose pockets.
What about Teresa, son of brave and handsome boy? If cool or if in love, his mother's pride and joy, his mother's pride and joy. Oh, how we mourn our good man Tom, who swore he'd catch the dreadful beast.
Hello.
If cool or if in home, and then he ate the priest.
Hello?
And then he ate.
I don't really enjoy the thought of sitting on
Greetings.
something with a face on it.
I have many fine brews.
Greetings.
Put your weapons down and unwind. All that, whatever it is you do, it's gotta be a big source of stress.